Hi, everybody.
You guys must have an interesting conversation that's been taking place for the past half hour now before we started.
Right. Uh, I guess to at least pick up where we left off last time. This is the
Yep.
yeah. All right. So
We're in the roguish place, and we're pretending that we're bad guys.
yes, so the party has infiltrated the Snakebite gang with the help of Ludwig, the double agent. Um, After meeting the gang's at least regional boss, Slanesh, Salesh, a Yuan T. He has informed the rest of the gang that they will be mobilizing to the Black Canyons in order to receive some orders from the Vipress herself, the big boss. Um, I believe this was also part of the last session, but Yogg also ingested a fistful of
Yep.
powdered Draconite.
That's the first thing he did.
Yep.
Literally how we opened the session. How we opened the session.
And then he took a pinch and put it, and then he took like enough in a small bag.
You know,
Right.
so he can snack on it later.
All right. So
He wants to
currently,
feel alive.
the group is lurking, or at least trying to maintain cover, a inconspicuous disguise among the bandits, and just going with the flow for now. So you guys are given a small place to call your own, to rest up and recuperate and get ready as the bandits plan to set out tomorrow as a group. So you guys have a moment of privacy as Ludwig is with you, but no other bandits, and you feel like you can all speak freely for the moment.
So, what's the exact plan when we get there? We just follow orders and then go back to the Rangers and inform them what's going on, or what?
Well, you'd have to find out what it is this Snakebite Gang is planning in its entirety. If they command us to do something vile, we should probably find some way to circumvent that. I don't want.
Curiosity. Is assassination off the table? Meaning, if we get a chance to take out the head, can we do it?
I haven't received any such order to do that, but it would still be very risky.
Last resort.
Yeah.
If anything, we would want to bring the Vipers to justice, but if there really is no other option, I suppose getting rid of her might be best,
That's curious.
if it came down to it.
All right.
And I'd rather not take another life, thank you very much.
Eh. If it needs to be done, it needs to be done.
In the meantime, our image. We need to be able to convince the gang that, we aren't the ones who've been pretty much hunting down every criminal over here in West Avendale.
Right. I imagine that you guys would stand out a little bit, but if you can at least remain conspicuous and keep a low profile, your odds of getting closer to the Vipers would be a lot higher.
Fair if anybody just tries to get in front us about it, we'll just punch them. And I mean, I'm pretty sure that's pretty bandit-like, just to punch anybody you don't like.
Be that as it may, I wouldn't want you guys to make more trouble for yourselves.
You think we make trouble? It just follows us.
Meanwhile, I'm more likely to be recognized than the rest of you.
Landlong here got name stolen.
Yeah, that was weird.
I-
Understanding the concept of a name, but not actually having one. Weird.
That's bizarre, but I don't think anybody here would recognize you on name alone.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not.
Meanwhile, do you know how many times that people have pulled me aside asking if I was Lady Rain?
A few
Think about it.
times, I imagine.
So, I'm probably gonna have the most trying job trying to appear like a hooligan, a rapscallion, a ruffian, a complete and utter bastard.
Just do what Yogg does.
I mean, these are bandits. Masks are rather commonplace. Wouldn't be strange for you to wear one around them.
Fair enough. Got one I can use?
I mean, they sort of provide like a handkerchief. Just sort of offers it to you. It's like, this is the best I can manage for now.
A lot to do. She takes it and wraps it around her face.
Well,
Also pulls her hood over her hair to conceal her identity.
should be fine enough, but well, at least try to act the part a little better, especially once we set out tomorrow.
Understandable.
Should be fun. Always want to act.
I just love how no one batted an eye when Yogg recommended Mary Soul just do what Yogg does.
I was about to say, no, I will not be doing that, but I decided against it.
I suppose we should just get some rest now and wait for orders to head out.
Of course. I'm going to say that you guys can give yourself a long rest right
All
now.
of our health is restored, I guess. All of our hit points.
Yep. And spell slots and any other features.
Okay. I keep forgetting to reset my hit point maximum. To reset my
What?
hit points to the max.
Yes.
That's why I almost died. I didn't reset my hit points last week. Anyway, time skip then.
Well, yes. It's the hours roll by. You don't necessarily need to take watches because you are in a quote unquote protected space. But nothing bothers you. Nothing seems to go wrong. Um, when the morning rolls around and the boss and the bandits start getting up, moving around, making a bit of noise, hustling about. It wakes you guys up, and you are, I guess, now ready.
Ready as it will ever be.
Yep. So, following Salish's orders, you guys set out from the cemetery, back out into the hot desert sun. I guess this would also be a little bit of a time skip as you continue on for an hour or so, and then a few more as you sort of are led to the edge of this large, sprawling canyon. It goes on for miles to the point where you can sort of see the other side of the ridge, and it goes deep down into the earth like a large scar.
Oh, this is a neat place.
And from there, the horses and the wagons are sort of led down this series of switchbacks that sort of go back and forth um, further down into the canyon around a relatively safer path. You sort of descend a good couple of feet down into the canyon a little further and further, and you start noticing other trails of people, other groups, sort of filing in. Oh, hey, there's Cherry.
I'm so sorry I'm late.
It's fine. Only thing you missed so far is we all had a long rest, and currently we're being led down some switch paths
Also,
into a canyon.
also we're in with the snake guy, with the snake
Snake bite gate.
and
Yeah.
we're the baddies.
Okay, good to know.
But for Yaga, that's not
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, sorry, I generally forgot that we were starting an hour earlier.
It's fine.
Yep, that's all right.
People can tell her apart. It's a good thing. It's a good thing Ludwig gave her a mask, so she's not as recognizable.
So, the party is descending down into the canyon, sort of seeing these other bandit caravans slowly converge as they go further down the pathway. Yog, can you give me a Constitution saving throw?
Alright, let it right out for a bit.
19?
You feel this sort of bubbling sensation, and at first you just sort of pass it off as like a belch, but the feeling of magic is palpable inside you. Nothing seems to happen as a result of that, but it doesn't feel like a good thing.
Yog's a goddamn ticking time bomb.
Now, is this feeling better or worse than the time when he decided to eat
A little worse.
the
I
dragons?
believe I believe yeah, he nat 20 his first Constitution save.
Watch, it's like 20, 19, 18, 17, 16.
Yog's got a good Constitution on him, but there's only so much that
There's only so much that this turtle tank can handle.
There's
exactly.
only so many numbers on a D20.
Mhm. Mhm.
Anyway,
But for now, Yog seems to be in a clear after that little lapse in fortitude.
You're right there, big guy. Seemed like you had something bubbling.
Yog, stomach feel weird.
Well, he should have gone before he left.
Not that. Dragon powder.
That hasn't gone through you? Yeah, good lord.
who would have thought that the flaming Cheeto test could be bad for you?
God damn it, Sega.
Anyway, Marisol is just hanging around in Dunia. Keeping quiet.
You gonna be okay, big guy?
Yog thinks so.
Did either of us try to heal you up?
He shakes his head no.
Alright.
Well, warn us before something happens because I don't want to be on anywhere near you when it comes out of either end.
Yogg will yell.
Okay, good.
Oh god.
Okay. Your journey down the canyon continues, and it starts to actually get kind of cold. As you sort of like feel these winds sort of stirring in the lower elevation. And soon enough, this large amassed trail, this gathering of bandits, all starts sort of filing into one of the caves inside the ridge.
And
It's
Lung just thinks to himself, look at all this money I could be making.
Yeah, so it's a rather wide cavern entrance. You sort of see like a couple of other bandits sort of stationed at certain strategic points in the cliffs, wielding heavy crossbows, sort of keeping an eye out. None of them they're sort of generally scanning over the area. They don't seem to really notice that you guys are not there from their not part of them from their distance. And you guys are able to make it into the cavern rather well.
Yep.
So, you guys sort of enter this cavern, and it's rather big and rather spacious. You hear all this like talking and moving around, sort of echoing in the cavern. It's basically this huge, almost like hall of just stone with some torches lighting the way, and everybody just kind of seems to be standing around waiting for something. That
Lin Lung just leans over. Yeah.
well, are you asking that to anybody in particular, or
Ludwig. I'm asking him. I'm not asking them. Sorry.
yeah? It's like if I had to guess, maybe the boss, maybe waiting for the boss to show up. If it, she, if she's going to make an appearance, everybody probably seems a bit jittery.
This would be a real bad time for a Constitution saving throw.
Out of curiosity, Green, how close are
Failed
we
one.
to like the sort of stage area where it looks like she'd be popping out at?
Um, tell you what, roll a D100.
Each of us?
No, just once.
Oh,
Yep.
just Lang Long, you said?
Yeah.
65.
Uh, you're kind of close. I mean, you sort of get this good vantage point where you can see her kind of clearly, but um,
Hearing wise, not so well.
I mean, hearing and visuals are okay. It's kind of like if you were in like an auditorium or something, you would be on like the leftmost side, and like mid distance away. So like it's a decent spot where you can sort of be a little private, a little out of the way. But
Question. What would we
yes.
need to roll in order to get closer? We can get a better understanding of what she's saying.
Well, she hasn't actually shown up yet. And currently it's less of like an organized hall where like seats are facing her, and it's more of just like this huge crowd standing on like
Standing room only.
it's like a giant convention hall, but
Oh,
yeah.
I know what that's like.
Yeah, so like basically this huge room filled with bandits. The ceiling is low and dark, and people just sort of seem to be like on edge. There's definitely like the cavern um the cavern exit where the light, or some of the light is pouring in, so you have a sense of direction. But
Well, it's a good
everybody,
thing it didn't make my character claustrophobic like I am.
yeah. So you're basically sort of in like this large, this big large area with all these sort of bandits standing by as the anticipation slowly creeps up.
So, what's now?
Wait, I suppose. Although I can't say this. I suppose when the boss is ready, she'll make herself known.
She's very dramatic, isn't she?
I'll say. I got to admit, this is. If she is going to show up, this is be my first time actually seeing her.
Yogg don't know how long Tumby has.
What do you know about her?
Well, again, she's the head of the whole gang. She's got it in with these snake people and these Yuan-Ti, and well, I mean, she's able to probably the largest group of criminals in West Avendale, so you know that she's not just some, I don't know, not playing around.
She's no
She
nonsense, that's what you're saying.
exactly. I mean, again, you don't get to amass something like an army like this without, some serious wherewithal.
You know,
And then, you sort of notice, like sort of Salesh sort of uh mm, maneuvers past you guys, and then another Yuan-Ti follows him, and you see like this group of maybe less than a dozen humanoid creatures, all with snake-like features. You have Salnesh, who has a snake's head and a snake's tail from the legs down. You have this guy who looks like a human, but his arms are just a cluster of snake heads. And this kind of like mix and matched variety of Yuan Ti as they all sort of like gather and they sort of form a ring, or a semicircle of open space where criminals sort of are pushed away. And then you hear the sounds of footsteps slowly emanating from the darkness, and somebody emerges into view of the torchlight. That's when all the other bandits kind of shut up and their attention is now a bit focused on the woman standing behind this row of Yuan Ti. She's tall, slender, dressed in black, and it's a little hard to see given uh, the cavern's dim light, but she has some like a satchel with her, and from beneath her wide black hat are serpents.
yeah.
Is this thing a Medusa?
You you sort of watch as she clears her throat and she starts to speak. It's like, I'd like to thank all of y'all for coming out so far just to meet me. It's but I should probably skip the formalities and get right down to business. And you sort of watch. She sort of like does a quick clap of her hands, and from the darkness, two of those same moving statues um, approach from behind, each carrying large boxes. It's like, we've got a rather large haul these past couple of days. Not as big as I'd hoped, but big enough. And then these stone statues open the box and they spit out these large packets of large Draconite crystals. And a slight murmur of excitement comes up from around the guards. It's like, well, with this, we should have enough to fully take over Everton. Maybe even blow open that bank's doors of theirs, take down the mayor, seize it for ourselves, and wipe away any of the rats that plan to stand in our way. Oh, and speaking of rats, I know someone or in here is a snitch. And you notice that Ludwig just sort of nervously swallows, trying to maintain their composure.
Marisol walks right up to them.
You sort of approach the Vipress, but you notice that the Yuan-Ti sort of stand in her way, and they notice you. And they sort of bar your approach. It's like,
Yogg is. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, go ahead.
Yogg's gonna walk behind her.
So, like, are you? So Marisol, are you? What are you planning to do from here?
Honestly, my only plan was to just like give Ludwig just some sort of comfort is all. And then
Oh, okay.
question: should I roll a stealth roll to see if anyone noticed me walking up to them?
I mean, I
no,
assume Ludwig is like right next to us.
Ludwig is right next to you, but you don't. Okay, so describe to me what you're actually planning to do. Like, are you like approaching these the front line, this front row of Yuan-Ti, like with like hoping to be unnoticed, or
Mainly hoping to be unnoticed, just so I can get a clearer understanding of like.
okay, so yeah, so roll stealth and also yeah, and then roll perception.
Okay. If I fail, I fully intend to expose myself.
Giggity.
Okay.
Okay, this is gonna be interesting.
Okay. Well, so here's the thing. On a 7, um, you definitely are noticed, but your disguise is not compromised. If anything, you just you sort of note you sort of the Yuan-Ti just sort of like they acknowledge your presence and they sort of stop you from advancing any further, but they don't make a big show of it. So you are as close as you get to the Vipress, but you are not in a position to be sneaky anymore. As for the perception, the light in here is at least bright enough to notice a ring on her finger and a reddish glow emanating from her eyes. And the Vipress continues her little spiel, saying, "It's like, that's right, fellas, we got a rat amongst us. So, before we proceed with the plans, I'd say we do a little bit of house cleaning, don't you think?"
What's the response from the crowd?
There's sort of like this sort of like varied response. It's like it's like there's a rat. Oh man, do you think it's like one of the rangers? Oh man, we should have known this whole time. I bet it's you. No, wait, it's not me. And then there's sort of like this mm, minor, this sort of like minor uneasiness that's sort of rippling through the other bandits. But nothing has really escalated so far.
I was kind of hoping to pull like an "I'm Spartacus" moment.
No, that's not happening. It's more of a "you're Spartacus" moment.
Damn it! I wanted to do that.
But
Yeah.
in any case, there's just sort of like this general unease. Ludwig is staying quiet, but is definitely nervous.
Long will just put his hand on his shoulder and just sort of try to keep him calm.
Mhm.
Okay, unless she says you're.
And what if the rings are wrapped? What are we supposed to do with them?
You watch as like a set of like a huge like these bandits all like sort of turn their eyes to you, as well as the sort of the eyes of the Viperous, sort of piercing and almost cold like a dagger's point. It's like, then we make sure they work for us. You hear? And she sort of like raises her hand and flashes the ring as the statues sort of continue on and also move to the front line.
That is quite an interesting ring you got there. Do you know who crafted it for you?
Moron and Nufford. He was
They do amazing. They do amazing work. This is framing your hand rather nicely.
flattery will get you nowhere. Believe me, I know all about flattery. But if you really want to see it that badly, why don't you come get a closer look?
All right then. I mean, Marisol does have jewelry. Does have a jewelry jewelry profession. She's kind of knowledgeable on the craftsmanship of making jewelry and such.
I'm back. Sorry,
Okay.
I had to put one of my dogs outside because my oldest sister's coming.
Okay, so after this little
Marisol's gonna try to take the attention off of Ludwig, if there is any.
I'm. I mean, if you want someone to create, like get attention, y'all can always just be like, you can just say I'm in cahoots with the spy, but you'll never get the answers from me.
well, in any case, let's sort of resolve this little thing going on. So, after this brief exchange between the Vipers and Marisol, she says, "Come take a closer look," and then the Yuan Ti sort of allow you to walk past them and approach her. So, what do you do?
Let's see. I'm between Sod and admiring her ring. Little mainly
Okay, so
trying to create a diversion because I know my teammates are probably going to arrange something, big, boisterous.
well, okay, so even though you're feigning to examine the ring, how about you give me a jewelry tool check?
Jewelry tool check. That would be
Okay, so
attributed
there's
to intelligence,
so
I assume.
I think it would be using it. So yeah, so it's an intelligence check with proficiency.
With proficiency. Would that be with advantage or just normal?
Normal.
Okay. Oh,
Eight.
I fail.
I I mean, it is a nice ring.
I was thinking if I could. I was trying to see if I could notice anything particular about it, like the way it was made, the actual jewels that might have been used.
Well, since you're like right up close and looking at it, you would basically just see this silver cast ring with a ruby set in the center. It definitely kind of seems magical, but it's but that 8 is not go is going to prevent you from learning anything else about it just from your examination.
Kind of looks like the ring that I have.
Remind me, what does your ring look like?
It's
Right.
And that's
Well,
basically, and that ring is basically my druidic focus.
yes. Okay. Anybody else? Does anybody else want to do something while this is transpiring?
Does it look like the Vipress is about to do anything? Because I have a hunch as to what that ring does, but
Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we
Yep.
can hear you.
Okay. I just plugged in my new microphone.
All right.
Anyway,
So to answer Titan's question, you can roll an insight from where you are. Just sort of.
yeah. There it is. Luckily, 18.
This definitely feels like a trap of some kind. And
Lemlong will prepare a dart for when if she tries to activate the ring.
I mean, if y'all want, y'all can create a distraction.
Not at the moment. It's still very up in the air. So
okay, so Lanlong, you're preparing to throw a dart if she uses the ring.
yes, on if she attempts to use ring on Mary Soul.
I actually do have a few spells prepared that might be of use if the ring is used on me.
Hmm.
Apparently, jump is a spell.
That is true. Yes. So let's see. I'm gonna have to think about what happens here.
Yeah, Yogg's not really all that helpful right now.
What about
Sorry, what was that?
Marisol's trying to distract the Vipe. Priz, Langlong preparing a spell in case it's a trap. Yogg can't really do much of anything at the moment.
In that case, Indunia gets ready to basically she's on edge, but trying to not make it obvious.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, how do I sound right now?
You sound great.
Sounds all right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So you verbally mentioned your own ring as well.
Yes, and I actually show it to her.
Okay. She's like,
These actually look like a similar make.
very well. Maybe so, but okay. It's like that's exactly the ticket. Pretty things want pretty things, and I want everything.
Did she just
So,
call me pretty?
roll insight.
Okay. 17.
I mean, that definitely sounded like a flirt.
What?
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 Or else she would have been caught blushing.
But she is also still speaking.
Yeah.
And I want everything. So, let's set the record straight. We're going to be taking everything. And rings like this, well, they might as well be pocket change by the time we're done.
I have the power to Dragonite, so I could try. No, I don't want to use that as a distraction.
Are you sure? Are you sure you would say you have the power of Draconite?
No, the powdered Dragonite.
Oh, yes, the powdered. It's only like a
Power of Draconite.
and it's only like a pinch, right?
Yeah, it's like a pinch or so. Which, I mean, Yogg's got big fingers.
And then the Viper sort of turns to address the rest of the crowd. So that's what we're after. The money. We're going to be taking all this Draconite and using it to blow open the door to Everton's vault. You all know the rest.
I got that signet whistle, which I'm... no, I shouldn't use.
I'm trying to remember if one of the spells I prepared would be enough to flaming spear. I'm trying to remember if that would be enough to bust the door open.
Which door?
Like the door to the vault.
Well, there currently is. Yes.
Well,
Okay.
what
Yeah.
about
So
your services? I could blow
you
up the
will.
door vault for you without the use of Draconite.
I'd like to see you try, but we still have the payload. Might as well use it. This stone is incredibly powerful. To just leave it behind when we worked so hard to take it, that would be a waste.
And Marisol has the feeling that these were the type of people who attacked that one couple.
Yeah.
Literally the people who did it.
Huh?
It's literally the people who did it.
Thank you. Anyway. I'm guessing Marisol's motive now? Like, she's pretending to be a bad guy. Might as well go all in, huh?
I thought Yogg was supposed to be the one that's not subtle.
I'd be the least subtle anyway. Might as well use my lack of subtlety to my advantage.
Let's see, 1 second. Yeah, I'm gonna roll something real quick.
Oh no.
Marisol, roll deception.
Oh no.
17.
Oh, thank God.
All right, your cover is maintained. So that's the long and short of it. Every single bandit, crook, and thug you see here is gonna march on over to Everton up north and take it for ourselves.
Yeah.
We won't have to be squatting in any more canyons. We can finally start living the high life away from those Norfolk Rangers. There's only one rule that all of you should realize. Don't kill anybody who doesn't have a weapon. After all, what good is taking over a city if there's nobody you can't control in the process?
I hate this, but she has a good point.
She does. Does Marisol walk back down at all, or does Viper's kind of keep her up there?
I think after the Viperess sort of like turns away and starts addressing the crowd as a whole, one of the Auntie just kind of like shuffles you back. Oh, and a bonus. 500 gold pieces to the person who brings in the rat's head.
How much of that is in platinum?
Um,
Isn't that 5 platinum?
I believe so. And I'm afraid nobody would be getting paid, but it'd expedite the process.
Yeah, it's 5 platinum.
Also, After saying that, Marisol, make another deception check. Okay, your cover is still up. Nobody suspects a thing.
I am surprisingly getting really good at this deception shit.
Don't jinx it.
Don't jinx it.
Because if you jinx it, then Yogg's gonna have to do something stupid.
I'm hoping to jinx it, actually.
You bitch.
You know, good on. You know what? You know, fair dinkum. But
Hello?
yeah, after that last little bit, the crowd is they are sort of suspicious. Obviously, they still suspect that a rat is among them, but they have no clue as to who. And nobody's looking to get violent right now, but somebody, yeah, that does seem a little strange. As you know, Ludwig sort of whispers to a landlong, like, something about this does not seem right, and not for the obvious reasons.
You're telling me.
Still, I can't believe that the leader of the gang basically flirted with one of the party members.
Well, it's not really that surprising.
It really isn't. So, I want all of y'all, to be ready to head out in 3 days. Get yourselves ready, for better or for worse. And then, well, at that point, the Viper sort of retreats back into the cavern. Some of the Auntie guards follow her, while the others sort of keep an eye on the group of bandits, who all also sort of trickle out of the cavern to set up a large base camp at the canyon. And yeah, you guys sort of have like this brief moment to act on whatever you see fit.
I almost want to ask, where's the biggest guy in camp?
Do you?
Where's the biggest guy in camp?
The biggest guy is one of the Yuan-Ti guards who are actually, it's not a Yuan-Ti, it's rather an orc, who's just kind of like, he's kind of like just sort of looking over a small group of humans. He's got like this huge great sword on his back. He's got like an ear with like a bite mark in it, and these huge this huge like tusks jutting out from his jaw.
Yogg's gonna walk up to him and ask, "What's your story?"
I'm an orc. Don't read any other story than that.
What happened to Ear?
Well, dog bit it. Not really anything worth saying.
Hmm.
And what about you, Shellback?
Pretty good.
Just called the old Shellback. Wow.
Yeah, he's not very good with quippy nicknames.
Yeah. Traveler.
That's not
All-
what I- Now go on.
Almost wanderer. Help people who need it.
Huh. Yeah, you're in the wrong place, mate. How a guy like you turn into a bandit?
Bad deals had to run.
Ain't that the truth?
Name.
1 second. I did say it in the voice, so it wasn't in character.
I know, that's why I laughed.
It'd be funny if it was in character.
Yeah. Or should I call you half-eared to tusk?
Not worst name I've been given. Call me Trag.
God damn it. And I'm guessing he's gonna want to know what Yog's name is.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're lying about your name, you don't really have to make a deception check.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to update the character now. There we go.
D&D. Yog just nods for saying, name, 10, go.
Right then. Hope the score goes well. We could eat like kings if it all goes to plan.
You ever think there could be a better life than what we have?
Go for the better life didn't suit me.
I love how Yog's having this philosophical conversation with this guy.
It's more of a moral conversation.
Yeah.
Let the shipping begin.
What?
And this
It's like-
one random orc I made up just now.
What? The first ship was Yog and Indunia. And then now it's Yog and Trag. I think there might have been Yog and Marisol at one point, but that might have been because she was high.
Well, great. Now each of us has 3 ships.
No, Yog has 3 ships.
No, one with each other.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's called a polycule.
Marisol and John. And now Marisol is a
Yeah.
Barks. Anyway, okay. So as Yog is talking with this orc, does anybody else do anything in this moment?
I'm actually doing my plan that I just came up with on the fly.
Landlong is going to attempt to set up base camp for us and talk to our informant buddy.
Okay. And do you have anything in mind?
No, Dunia's just gonna stay on edge just in case things start turning south.
Okay. All right. So, Marisol, walk me through this plan you have.
I'm hearing crackling noises.
That's my keyboard, sorry.
Okay. So, basically based on what was happening earlier, try to see if I can get this virus to further let down her walls. See if I can't convince her to not try to rob and pillage and kill. But at the very least, try to get an understanding as to why.
Okay, but I meant more like the actual
The
steps
actual
that you.
plan.
Yes.
Actual how?
So,
Try to walk up to the guards, seeing that their leader kinda made an example of me earlier.
mm,
Just wanted to see if I can continue our conversation. It would be a
Okay, wait. So okay. So what are you saying to this Yuan-Ti guard?
Mind if I go see your leader? I just want to finish our conversation.
The boss is not. The boss isn't to be disturbed for tonight.
Okay. But just in case, call. Darn it, I'm trying to think. In case, just come grab me. Just in case she wants to continue our conversation as well. And then she just walks back to the group.
Okay then.
Honestly, I'm kind of hoping that she does. That way my actual plan can go into motion.
I feel like the only one so far that's actually kind of keeping cover is Yogg, and he's having a conversation with this random orc guard.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so does Yogg continue his small talk or
No, he just kind of, when they're done, he just kind of slaps him on the ass for walking towards Landlong. You heard me! You heard me!
And the ship continues to sail.
okay. Hey, we just met. Are you a bandit too? Cool.
Okay, I just met you.
And this is crazy!
All right, so
So let's get horny.
everybody has grouped up after the bandits after this congression has dispersed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these bandits are sort of setting up tents. There are walls hastily being erected, and you sort of overhear like some talk of setting up watches to sort of patrol the canyon at night.
Everyone or just... Yeah.
Wait, say that
Isn't
again?
everyone hears these, talks about the watches?
Yes.
Yogg's gonna volunteer.
Well, it's not like your typical watches where you're just sitting by and staying awake. It's like you're actively patrolling this other
Yeah.
group of this huge base camp of other thieves and bandits, and going to make sure the perimeter is secure.
Yeah.
If you want to volunteer for such a duty, you can roll persuasion.
Okay.
19!
Okay, Yogg gets a spot.
Anyone else want to volunteer?
Dunia says she'll take take a watch. Okay.
That's
Give me.
that's only if you want to make yourself part of the night watch. Exactly.
Exactamundo.
Actually,
20.
Okay, and doing it also is part of the night patrol.
what?
Yeah, Landlong does not.
Yeah.
And I do not. Okay. The two. Okay. And Dunia and Yogg get a spot. And we just stay with Luce.
Yeah.
Company anyhow.
Yeah, so eventually, night rolls around, and these various camps all sort of meld and become one giant platoon, while the entrance to the cave remains guarded by Yuan-Ti. As night rolls around, you sort of you basically have your like a rather large tent, where Ludwig, Lanlong, and Marisol are holed up in. Lanlong and Indunia, you've sort of been tasked with at least just patrolling. Yes, my bad. So yeah, you two are sort of been tasked with patrolling the grounds. So you just kind of have this ability to go free reign around the canyon, while not straying
Mhm.
too far, under the guise of keeping an eye out for various threats or dangers.
Dog's a threat and a danger, technically.
Yes, actually, now that the sun has set, can Yogg roll me another Constitution?
Well, it's been nice knowing you guys, but I feel like Yogg's about to die. 21!
You were saying?
You have another magical flare up as you let out this nasty magical belch. It feels kind of like heartburn, but like also kind of reminds you of like the Feywild. But whatever it is that's happening, you're keeping it down.
The dice won't let. Oh my god!
This pressure cooker of magic and gas that is Yogg.
Will he explode? Will he just belch? Who knows? Let's see what happens. I hope someone's taking notes so if Yogg dies and y'all make it back to Ludwig or Withersby, whoever, when you make it back to Withersby, it's like you just hand him notes. It's like, this is what happens when you eat this shit powderized.
Yes. Well, I guess we can use this moment to sort of focus on either half of the group. So I'm just gonna roll a dice real quick, and and if it's even, we'll go with Marisol and Lanlong, and if it's odd, we'll focus on Yogg and Dunya. Yes, even. Okay. So, the three of you are in the tent so far. You have at least a little lantern to provide some light, but the camp seems to be pretty silent for the most part, and you have a moment to speak freely.
Listen. Listen, if we want to get in good with the leader, we need to find some sort of scapegoat for him.
What, you mean me?
We're not going to give you up. We need somebody to take your place as the rat and give them up.
Believe me, I really would like for the suspicion to be off me, but don't you feel like it was kind of weird?
I mean, yeah, but what do you mean?
Well, the Vipers knew that there was a rat among us, but at the same time, she still went ahead and told everyone her great plan.
I mean, at this current juncture, it doesn't look like we can really leave.
Willingly, of course not. But if I do, it's like she was giving me an opportunity to turn tail and run, report back to the Rangers. But if I did leave, they'd know for sure.
That's what I assume what they were expecting. Somebody to hide. I'm expecting somebody to hightail it tonight and try to Run back to the Rangers and report.
If that makes a bit of sense. If somebody tries to leave the camp tonight, they'd probably be flagged as the traitor.
Exactly.
And $500 bound, $500 gold bounty for
So,
anybody who turns a traitor in, right?
well, yes, that's usually by force, I suppose.
Question is,
What if one of us turns ourselves in? Or
that
more accurately, what if one of us turns each other in?
That sounds like
that'd be
it's
really stupid because we'd all become suspicious immediately, even if one of us is turned in.
and I don't think what would happen to you is
Pleasant.
good.
Because I'm guessing from her inference on her on her little ring, she turns people to stone with it or something. Question is, do you remember anybody who joined your group? Not us, but like your bandit group when you first joined up.
I mean, they're not really. I was the most recent addition to the gang.
Damn.
Everybody else has been there longer than I have. But maybe we did have a good idea earlier. If we can make some reason for one of the others to turn tail and run, we could falsely flag them as a traitor.
Agreed. But how do we do that is the question.
I'm afraid I'm at a loss there.
We need to find somebody particularly cowardly.
Forgive me for thinking that would also be a bad idea.
Why? Why would it be a bad idea?
Wouldn't we look suspicious trying to get someone else to turn tail?
If we get caught, yes, but if we I don't know. We would have to, if we were to make somebody try to leave the camp, we shouldn't be able to, we can't let ourselves be traced back to it, you know?
That's why I suggested self-sacrifice.
That's probably worse. I mean, the first plan has risk, but that's borderline suicide.
In all honesty, what I would truly prefer is us just to get the fuck out of here and report back to the Rangers and let them know what's coming. But fortunately,
That's exactly what they're looking for.
yeah, that's the problem. Mm.
While two of the members of our party are keeping watch, I don't think either. I don't think either of them will be able to defend us. Not out of malice, no. But just it's two against the rest of the group.
Green.
Yes.
Is there like? Does it look like there's anybody like outside, like just in small groups eating and stuff?
Roll a perception check.
Shone. Oh God.
Nat 1.
I mean, it's kind of dark.
Critical 1. Alright.
Mm.
I was gonna suggest that both Langlong and me do a persuasion check to try to get Ludwig to agree with either one of our plans.
If that were okay, if either one of you has a plan that you'd like to try and convince Ludwig to follow, I would need both of you to agree to it. Obviously.
I mean, my
arguing like which one of us has the better plan, which we just presented earlier.
Well, I think both of you need to agree on like what you want to you guys to do before trying to convince Lidway.
I mean, personally, trying to get somebody to run and make them look like the guilty party is far safer and far better for us in every sense.
Meanwhile, if one of us steps up and just straight up admits it, wouldn't that mean that? Sorry, I'm lost the words.
It means one of us would get turned to stone.
It wouldn't. Yes, but then her eye is off the rest of you. The traitor is already dealt with.
True, but uh, I don't. I'm not really prepared to let you guys take the fall just to save my skin.
Yeah, no offense. We were hired by the Rangers, but I ain't sure as fuck ain't dying for them.
And you're gonna let some stranger do just that?
Considering that they're all bandits, yes.
Well, what if we just
They're planning on blowing up and killing people in the city. All of them. They're all part of this. So I don't see the problem in giving up one of these fucking idiots to do so.
that's I know you're trying to do the right thing, but that sounds even more worse. Thinking back, maybe we really should just keep a low profile in the hopes that this blows over. All right.
The attack is in 3 days. We need to let the Rangers know what's happening if we're not going to do anything.
Well,
Do you know any way of getting in contact with them?
Well, if that's the case, we need to find some way to sneak me out of camp and make sure that nobody finds out that I'm missing. All right.
Luckily.
That's not really how stealth checks work, but okay. So I feel like we should, yeah. Let's table this for the moment and switch to Yogg and Dunya. Yeah. All right. So, Yogg and Dunya are somewhere. Yeah, they're patrolling the camp. Um, basically just making sure that things stay quiet and calm. Uh, and you were instructed to raise the alarm if any monsters or rangers come close to the campsite. But because of your patrolling duties, you can go to most places in the base camp at your discretion.
Okay.
So, is there anything that either of you would like to do?
My gut's telling me I shouldn't do it. Where are the horses?
The horses are all kind of hitched up at the outside, near the base walls, sort of asleep,
Yeah.
in the dim light. There doesn't seem to be anybody else around.
the only way I feel like anyone would make it out is if they were a resilient motherfucker. So, Dog's gonna walk up to his horse, unhitch it, and try to ride out.
You get on a horse and
His
ride
horse.
away?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think Yogg's horse, Yogg's own horse.
Yeah. The one Yog's been riding for God knows how long.
Okay, and does Indunia sees this as well?
He wouldn't try to hide it from her, but so I assume so.
I suppose so, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Does Indunia try to stop him, or she allows this?
Cherry.
Uh,
Yog's turning coat and gonna.
Yeah, no, I heard everything that was going. I heard all of that. Don't worry.
Okay. So
Is she gonna try and stop him?
Yeah. So Dunia, puts her hand on his shoulder and tells him that it's not. It wouldn't be good for It wouldn't be good for everyone to lose such a valued member of our team, and
And he just whispers, "But Rangers."
I understand that, but if they know that we arrived with you, so if you turn tail, they might end up hurting all of us because they might know where we are, where they might think that we know where you are.
He nods for walking back with just like walking around, like patrolling with Indunia.
It was a good idea, though. I understand what you were trying to do.
Yog's gut saying, sorry, my dad outside. Gut saying, stay here, bad idea. Brain saying, wait. Yog confused. Indunia?
Indu- Indunia nods, listening to him. Listening to him intently. I understand that, but if you leave, everyone else could get hurt. But if this starts going south, we'll fight alongside you.
I'm trying not to cry right now.
Oh.
Nobody's hearing this, right?
The two of them are currently alone at the moment.
Yeah. Yogg apologizes for nearly blowing cover.
It's okay. You were just doing what you thought was right.
And I give Indunia a point of inspiration.
What does that? Oh, you mean as in the stat?
The DM inspiration. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so I don't know if I clarified that how I'd be ruling this when we started, but basically what that means is that you can give any roll of yours advantage, or when you roll with disadvantage, you treat it normally,
Okay.
and that's how it's spent.
Oh shit. I think that's the first time you've ever brought that up, dude.
I mean, it's not a DM inspiration rarely gets brought up in most games, so
True. Yeah.
But yeah. I think now would also be a good time to maybe take a quick break.
Yeah, and then time skip to the morning. Yogg makes a Constitution saving throw. Let's see if he blows up.
You'll make the check when I ask you to. So,
Yeah.
BRB.
God. Mm-hmm. Uh, I love that Antonia just stopped Yogg from, like, you just mentioned, it's like, yeah, but your friend's gonna get hurt, and Yogg's just like, fine.
Meanwhile, Marisol and Langlong are fighting.
Yeah. It's like, he knows Indunia and Lan Long can probably hold their own, but little Mary Soul, he protect. He,
Small water babe.
yes. He protect the tall glass of water. Mwah! Good night, everybody! Come on, I had to slip at least one. I had to slip a good night, everybody, in there somehow. Am I proud of it? I don't know.
So, what are we going to do then?
I don't know. I didn't think that far ahead.
I don't know. I didn't think I'd get this far.
Did you just snort?
Maybe.
Ah.
I really do want to get to know this Viper's character a little more.
Of
Yeah.
course. She's a baddie.
And from the way you described her, she's kind of hot.
I mean, I also have a special rule for when players ask, "Is this character hot?"
Okay, what's the rule?
Okay, anytime I describe or introduce an NPC, and one of the players asks, in some semblance of the word, "Are they hot?" I make them do a wisdom roll, and no, actually, I do like I have them do a D100 roll, and the NPC's charisma modifier sort of sets like the threshold, and if they roll above the threshold, then yes, your PC would consider that NPC hot. But if they roll below, nah.
Okay.
Unless they're a bard, they think everything is hot.
Yes. Considering Viper's kind of flirted with my character earlier, judging from the insight check, I am going to check to see. Let's test that.
Okay.
Do the threshold. 4
All right.
Viper's and 1
Yeah.
D100, correct?
Yeah. Okay. You rolled a 30. So unfortunately, you're not explicitly attracted to the Viperous.
Oh.
So here's the thing, like the higher you roll, you have to roll high. And like if they are so if they're, let's say they're a commoner with like a +0 modifier to charisma, right? The threshold automatically is 75. So you have to roll above
Jesus.
75. You have to, yes, and then you consider them hot. For every 1 point of their charisma modifier, no, actually, every 1 point of their charisma modifier, the threshold drops by 10 points. So, even if their charisma modifier is +5, you
I'll
still
drop it
roll.
down to 25.
Yes, but unfortunately, Sega, you did not roll high enough.
Okay.
I'm almost tempted for me to roll for Yogg to see if she's hot.
But like,
I'm gonna try to do the same thing for Jan, the other person I'm currently being shipped with.
okay, so one thing at a time. So like, obviously, when I say like your character didn't roll high enough, you can interpret that however you want, because it's your player's attraction. Like I mean, it's your character's attraction. You basically decide what they are and aren't into, but sometimes it just doesn't click. Whatever. Okay, and that only triggers when a player actually says, "Are they hot?"
Okay.
God,
Demonstrating.
don't tempt me.
Well, the choice is yours.
Wait, when you say she's hot, are you talking about Viper's, Travis?
I would assume so. He was just saying that earlier.
Does Yogg think Indunia's hot?
Oh.
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm sorry!
All right, here we go.
Does it count for player characters?
It does. Okay, so
Okay.
first and foremost, what is Indunia's charisma modifier?
Indunia's charisma modifier is 1.
It's a cleric.
So +1, right?
Yeah.
All right. So Yogg, you roll a D100, and if you roll above 65, then the answer is yes. You find Indunia hot.
75!
There we go. It has been settled.
Let the shipping commence!
Wait! Indunia needs to find Yogg hot too!
Yep. This roll system is one way. So
I mean,
and
she would need to get a 55 for higher.
yes.
8.
Yeah.
It's also one-sided love. It's a one-sided ship.
Well, it's a what it. This method only counts physical attraction, mind you.
Okay.
So in Indunia's eyes, Yogg is as ugly as sin.
Yeah, and again, I have to stress that I will only make you. I will only force you to make that roll if you ask, "Is this character hot?"
Yeah, okay.
So if you don't If you don't want to know, don't ask.
Okay. First session of D&D,
To bring you the shipping game.
We've quantified hotness and attractiveness. We've boiled it down to a science.
To fucking luck.
So question.
Yes.
Does it just apply to when the character is hot? Would it also
Well-
apply if, let's say, do they find me hot?
Well, since I'm the DM and I'm basically the one, in
He's
charge,
God.
and I can decide whatever any NPC has any attitude towards other NPCs or the player characters. But that is specifically for players
To NPCs.
or other PCs. I mean, obviously, I'm leaving a bit of leeway because it's an entirely subjective thing, and I'm trying to make it objective. But
You know what?
But
I still
usually-
want you to do a D100 to see if Viper's kind of
okay, that's
means he says pretty things want pretty things. You know what I'm saying?
okay. Well-
Modifier is a 1.
Okay. Well, actually, I can't actually tell you what an NPC's results are if I were to do it that way. But look, I'm pretty sure we're already settled. I've explained the rules, and this is why I only triggered this roll when a player asks, "Are they hot?" Because that is the end all be all that kind of basically decides it. It's like if you ask that, then we do the roll. If you don't, we don't. Yes.
Okay. We digress far too much. Let's get back to the game.
Okay. So, morning comes around. Despite Yaga and Dunya having a patrol, you were basically able to get enough rest. So, yeah, after a long rest, Ludwig is still with you, and yeah, another day counts down as you are among this massive bandit camp.
So on the second day, 48 hours remain.
Basically, yes.
During the day, Landlong's just gonna walk around and try to look at all the bandit groups and try to see which ones look the most hesitant.
Hesitant towards what?
The general idea of this, of storming Norford.
Okay. Roll insight.
Insight. 16.
Okay. You get a pretty good read of this camp, and the general vibe in the air is this sounds like it's going to be awesome, but we need to make sure that it all pays off, you know?
Okay.
There aren't as many meek, uncertain individuals as Ludwig. Everybody has either fully committed to this rough and tumble band desperado lifestyle. So they seem pretty on board.
Okay.
They're on board for this Despacito lifestyle?
Desperado.
Yeah, that's what I said, Despacito.
Anyway. All right.
Okay.
Yes. So that's the vibe you get, Landlong.
Okay.
I'm just wondering if anything else were to happen, like if Viper's decides to make another appearance.
So far it seems like she hasn't come out from the cave yet. And the UNT guards are sort of rotating their watches. So now there's a couple others standing in front of the gate, sort of watching, acting as bodyguards.
Well, if I can't get in the charming way, I was thinking maybe I should get in by wild shape, but then again, people might notice I'm gone.
It's a large group. I mean, it'd have to be a good you'd have to be gone a good long while before somebody catches wind.
I'm willing to assume like a day.
Perhaps.
We've seen birds on our journey.
Yes.
How long would it be to fly from here to here?
She's
Probably.
at the level she can fly.
Yeah. It would be it would still be a long flight, but I don't think you're at the druid level where you can turn to things that can fly.
Darn it.
And I don't think your wild shape lasts that long either.
Yeah.
Shit.
But if you do want a little bit of suggestion, you can sneak past the guards.
Should I and may I use my wild shape to do so?
That is what I'm suggesting, yes.
Alright. I'm trying to do I don't roll do I roll for this?
You don't.
Okay.
So so I think the first thing to discern is what animal do you turn into? Okay. Let's just say a spider, because nobody's going to question a spider in a cave.
I hate it. Actually, a snake would probably be even better, all things considered.
Just don't let Yogg notice Marisol turned into a spider.
Yeah, because he will try and smash it.
Smashy smash.
Don't take that out of context.
Well, now that you've put it out into the universe, there it is.
There we go.
Okay.
I'm gonna do wild shape and turn into a spider.
Okay. You easily do that. You are now a tiny itty bitty bug, and you can scurry past the guards without anything out of the ordinary. Do spiders have dark vision at all?
I think some breeds of
Mm.
spiders are nocturnally do
I mean,
very well.
in the stat block. Actually, let's see. I probably have it somewhere.
Wait, the giant spiders we've seen, they'd have dark vision.
Yeah, bigger.
They,
You don't want to be giant.
yeah.
No.
No.
A small version of a spider, right?
Yeah, they have dark vision up to 30 feet.
Okay, so you'll be fine. So, you can see fine in this dim cavern. You sort of scurry past the place where Vipress gave her speech and wander even further into the cave as it sort of narrows and gets further in. And then you sort of find this area of the cavern. Well, the first thing you notice is this sort of ramshackle wooden door that's sort of placed over a hole, which you can easily scurry through because it has plenty of gaps. And after you crawl to the other side, you sort of find like this weirdly lavish space. There's like a woven rug, a bed, a dresser with a candlestick currently lit, something like a large chest of treasure, it's a closed chest. You can't really see what's inside of it, and sort of like these various bits and accoutrements that definitely looks like a living space of some kind. And you do see the Viperess sitting on the bed. She's got like a journal in her hand as she's writing it down. And now you can definitely see that without her hat, she has these long green snakes in place of her hair.
Oh God, it's Vera.
Does my wild shape have my wild shape has a time limit, right?
I think it's in like an hour or an hour, number of hours equal to your wisdom modifier, but you should be fine right now.
And my wisdom modifier is 7.
It's barely.
So I can stay like that for 7 hours.
Wait, your wisdom modifier is 7?
It looks like a yeah. No wait, no. Is it?
There's no there should not be
He's
any
probably looking at her saving throws.
Oops.
Yeah. Okay. So you're still fine. You don't have to worry about your wild shape timing out anyway. Because it's only been like 5 minutes. But anyway, you find her alone in this room and she's sort of like jotting something down on like a journal. She hasn't noticed you because why would she notice a single spider in a dark cave? So what do you do from here?
I get a little closer, see if there's any information that I can gather.
Okay. As you scurry in a little deeper into this room, you do notice like there's a second door in this sort of room, this space. There's another again, it's another loosely placed door with plenty of gaps, but you can't see onto what's in the other side of it right now.
Shall I do an insight check on what's on the other side of the door?
You don't insight inanimate objects.
Oh, damn it! I accidentally did a wisdom save. Okay,
That's okay.
bless you.
Thank you.
So if you want to see what's on the other side of this other door, you would have to go behind it.
Okay.
As you do, you sort of see like this much more smaller, cramped space. But even though it's dark, you can definitely tell that there are tons of stone statues, and they're just sort of, well, not tons, like maybe half a dozen, and they're just kind of like roughly placed in here. They are not moving at all like the ones you have seen before. They are completely still and static. Stone statues of people, all kind of mirroring this state of shock and surprise, maybe even fear, but they're all completely still. Okay, you're back in the main quarters of the Viperous.
I, as a spider, get on
Okay. Yeah, so you're able to crawl along the wall. Give me a perception check.
16.
Okay. It looks like she is sort of jotting down like a list of supplies. Maybe like she's like, jotting down some weapons, crunching a few numbers, something about pounds of Draconite, amounts of gold they have stored, food, wagons and horses, as well as like the number of men currently, in the bandit camp as like as like a the, the number of people like on your side, as it were. And then she sort of like flips to another page, and then she just kind of has like a couple of names all scratched out, or a couple of ordinary names of people. Some of them are sort of like crossed out and scribbled, but others are sort of just there and legible.
Of course, and of course, nicknames for certain people who, understandably, chose to go.
Come again? I don't follow.
I was thinking like of course you would need intel on every single member of the group, and that includes the quintet that just joined her. I don't think any of us gave her.
Well, you don't. I don't think you can automatically infer that these names here are names of bandits she has enlisted,
Okay.
because you don't recognize any of them anyway.
Okay.
But I think I'll allow you to make an intelligence check to determine what they really are.
Okay. To be honest, I was kind of hoping she was writing something about me, like this weird thing earlier. Anyway,
15. This list of names, whether it be the unscratched out names and the names that have been scratched out, number roughly a dozen, and roughly that's how many statues you saw just at the other side of this door.
number of people she turns aside.
And after a while of writing, she closes the journal, sets it aside, and gets up to her desk, wherein she opens up a drawer, pulls out a small chunk of Draconite, as well as a mortar and pestle. And she starts grinding it up and sort of just bashing it and crushing it into a. Actually, no, a mortar and pestle isn't really used for crushing up stone, but okay, so she takes a chisel.
If it's fragile enough stone, it can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she takes. Okay, so let me quickly reset that. She takes a chisel and she chips off a tiny, tiny piece of Draconite, and then she seems to infuse it through some magical process with the ruby set in her ring.
Marisol gets a closer look, and am I noticed at this point? I mean, I'm a spider, but
Not you're not noticed by the Vipress herself, but one of the serpents in her hair does kind of notice you, and it just kind of looks at you.
Ooh.
Out of there.
It doesn't quite act, and the Vipress doesn't react at all to that. But you have a snake trained on you.
and with that, I make my way out of the room to relay to the others what I've learned.
Okay. Yeah, so you return back through the way you came, and after shapeshifting back from a spider, you meet up with the rest of the group.
Clearly, she's still looking for that traitor. Went through 12 of these bandits so far, and no luck.
Well, Good thing she doesn't know who it is. That makes our job ever so slightly easier.
And apparently she likes to keep her victims close.
Yeah, I got that. Which is how do we deal with the situation?
Too bad I can't turn into a bird and fly to Norford.
Yeah, that would be handy. See here. So
I like how nobody's asking how I got the intel.
I mean, you did just say you relayed everything, so I would assume you
Yeah.
eventually turned into a spider.
yeah.
Okay. Good. Anyway, let's keep going.
And in response to like learning that Marisol turned herself into a spider, Yogg just points at her. He's just like, never do that near Yogg.
I had that. Well, did you see me turn into a spider at all?
No.
Then there you go. I don't need you to tell me what I already know not to do.
Enemies. Move. Hmm. Do you know the rotation of the guards? Like,
You notice that they have sort of been swapping out one at a time every like 5 hours or so. There's always like 4 in front of the cavern, the cavern mouth, and every 5 hours one of them gets swapped out for one of the others.
What about the like the way out? Is there anyone protecting that?
There's nobody protecting it, so to speak, but it is very clearly in view of the rest of the camp. So if somebody were to start leaving, it would be quite obvious.
Mm.
I assume nobody else noticed that I was gone.
It's like it looks like you were rather quick in there.
I mean, it really just at this point comes down to what we want to do. Do we want to take out their leader or try to get back to Norford and warn everybody?
I say we try to take out whoever's in charge before it happens. Because obviously going to Norford isn't an
But
option.
that might accelerate the plans.
I mean, in that area is very highly explosive magical powder.
Same. That's in Yogg.
I mean,
Yes.
if we can get rid of the Viperess and try to try to stop her somehow, then the entire plan would be thrown out of whack. But I can't imagine it would be very easy to do so without anybody else noticing.
I mean,
Try to get her on our side, but that's probably be a snowball's chance in this place.
Okay.
We're dealing with a bunch of idiot bandits here. If we really want, we could try to convince a few of them that one party said this, one party said that, try to get them to fight and have that sort of cascade into a all-out sort of riot, and we can sneak in that way while the guards are dealing with all the idiots.
Like what? Like one of them is a traitor. Like we were suggesting the other night.
We say someone traitor to one party, and then big fight. Destroy Dragonstone.
Well, I'm figuring that if a big fight does break out, the guards are going to, have to step in and deal with it because they don't want people to get too rowdy or anything. And while the guards are away, we just sort of so happen to sneak in and take care of the leader, or at least take out the Dragonite.
If we do plan, let Yogg let Yogg take care of Draconite.
You know you're not going to eat it.
Yogg won't chud smash.
Yogg, roll a
No.
Constitution saving throw. And that is what we call jinxing it.
19.
Well,
Oh,
you survive this time again for the 5th time. I'm not trying to kill Yogg. I'm just trying to show that there are consequences for swallowing a fistful of volatile magical powder.
He's got a pinch left. He's got a pinch left he can swallow.
listen, Yogg. I don't think smashing it will do it. We need like some sort of magical charge to blow it up.
He then points to Chud.
Oh, yeah,
Fire.
That's enchanted. Oh yeah, that's enchanted. Yeah, that might work.
God damn it! Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I can't
Okay.
stop laughing.
So if our plan is to more or less cause a riot going forward, how do we do this? How do we want to do this?
Well, we
Oh man.
definitely need to find some way to set these bands of bandits against each other.
I mean, you at least have some idea of these groups of bandits. You must know about a few bandit groups who most definitely already don't like each other.
I mean, the only reason why bandits would really turn against each other is a competition of sorts. If there's something that we can create a scarcity of, then maybe we can create some tension between them.
What? Water.
That's probably the smartest thing I've heard you say.
Oh yeah, but Yogg's gonna protect a small glass of water.
Well,
Oh!
wow, and sounds like you're the thirsty one.
You're made of water, god damn it.
Anyway, well, that does sound like a good idea. If we can somehow get rid of most of the band's water supply, and it can then probably be a surefire way to get everybody at each other's throats.
I mean, do you know where the water's being kept?
It must
I
be
mean,
very close by, of course. I
Yeah.
imagine the food storage is just outside the camp edge.
And Dunya and Yogg night shift. Destroy water.
Well, let's try to find it first, then you can destroy it.
Yogg just pulls out his water skin and dumps it.
No, don't.
Need refill.
Yeah, smart enough. Nope. Seems like a good plan to me.
No, I'm good.
It gets sabotaged in the night when people wake up.
Yeah.
They should cause at least some sort of distress amongst the group.
All right. Well, as the day rolls by and you find ways to occupy yourselves, you wait for the sun to go down and for Yagan and Dunia to start your nightly patrol. And I do think that's a good place to wrap things up for now.
Oh my god!
Well, this turned out to be a very,
Eventful session. Yep.
You do realize, despite all this constipation and heartburn, Yak would do this again and would eat another handful of this stuff again in a heartbeat, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
like I said, it's flaming Cheetos dust.
I'm very surprised that if you guys were seriously considering how do we disarm this gang from their Draconite supply, Yog would suggest just eating it all. I would not put it past him.
Well, look, he is saying he's gonna smash it. He's not saying he's not gonna try and eat it all.
He's gonna smash it using his jaws.
Yeah, yes. I mean, look, you gotta break the thing. Like, you gotta break whatever container to get the Dragonite. And then Yonk's gonna smash it with his jaws.
I mean, you could also
It's just so happened to be in his mouth.
You could also just open it.
But where's the fun in that?
But
Well,
yeah.
we don't know if it's locked or not, so smashy, smashy.
Well, yep.
Smashy, smashy, chompy, chompy.
Well, there you have it.
Uh,
Yeah. By the next time we get together, the Christmas will have passed. So will it? Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
I don't
Yeah.
know if I'll be available on New Year's Eve because the time that we play my time is obviously we start at 10 and then we go on until midnight. Yeah, so it and I usually spend New Year's Eve with a bunch of friends. We usually hang out in Discord call together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can figure it out.
If not, we can just do it earlier in the week.
Mm.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, true.
How dare you have other responsibilities?
How dare you have other friends?
Oh man.
Yeah, we may have. Yeah, we'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah.
So, but for now, we made some more progress. We established some ships.
Yog's a ticking time bomb. Just when he's gonna blow, no one knows. 5 times he fucking survives.
As soon as he rolls below a 15, that's for sure.
It's like he rolls.
If we did 14, what would it be? Like just a massive belch? Fire breathing?
You'll find out.
honestly, I was just gonna say, Green, are you gonna have Yog do a Constitution saving in the middle of not in the middle of a battle, but in the middle of the Viperess giving her speech?
It was very tempting, but I like it to be a little consistent. So the span of a couple of hours between each check makes a bit of sense.
Then that crunch gets ever so smaller and smaller.
Yeah. Watch, it's the moment he's opening the Draconstone or whatever we're calling it.
Yeah.
And the Draconite, and then it's rolls a 14, and Yog just breathes fire all over it.
I'd like to point out that every time I'm making you make a Constitution save, the DC gets a little higher each time.
So eventually, a 19's not going to cut.
Eventually, a 19 won't cut it, and by the time a 19 doesn't cut it, oh, you're in for a storm.
This shit's been brewing in Yog's. You know what? At the beginning of the next session, Yog might just open up that little sack And
Might actually be a literal shitstorm.
This is why you gotta let it out when it first shows up. You can't hold it, man.
look, Yogg has a little pinch left, okay? He will eat that shit. And it'll make it that much worse.
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that little tidbit of conversation. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Oh shit, we were still alive!
Yep.